Deep within the laboratory of Synapse Station, Dr. Elias Kordan had opened a gateway to an unknown world. This gateway allowed ancient beings from another dimension to access our world, challenging their limits. Kordan was not only pursuing knowledge, but also began questioning the intentions of these beings. What did their presence in our world mean? What started as a journey driven by science and curiosity was becoming increasingly dangerous. As Dr. Kordan delved deeper into the realms of consciousness and knowledge, he realized that humanity was facing an existential threat. The ancient beings had been exiled in their own world for centuries and were now seeking to infiltrate ours in hopes of continuing their existence. Kordan could hear their voices more clearly each day. These voices resonated within the depths of his mind, influencing him and sometimes overpowering his control. One voice was different from the others. It was stronger and more determined. This voice shared the destruction of their world and the pain of their exile with Kordan. The ancient being hoped to use the energy of our world to reconstruct their own, but this could also mean the end of humanity. Kordan was at a loss with this knowledge. As a scientist, he was torn between his thirst for knowledge and his ethical responsibilities. Spending late hours in the laboratory, Kordan decided to deepen his connection with these beings. As part of this process, he developed a technique no one had tried before. This technique would allow him to communicate more directly with the ancient beings. However, this carried great risks. It was uncertain whether the human mind could withstand such a deep connection. At the critical moment of the experiment, the laboratory's energy systems reached their maximum capacity. As blue and green lights illuminated the lab, Kordan stepped across the gateway. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and opened his mind. Suddenly, an energy burst occurred, and Kordan found himself in an entirely different dimension. This dimension was filled with colors and geometries beyond human vision. The ancient beings were there, and he was face to face with them. This encounter was both enlightening and a warning for Kordan. The beings shared their history, losses, and longing for our world. They sought ways to coexist peacefully with humanity. However, they indicated that our world would need to undergo changes. As Kordan pondered this information, the beings offered him a choice. He could work with them to start anew, but what role would humanity play in this new world order? As Dr. Kordan searched for a way back, he faced a decision. Should he share this information with humanity, or should he engage in a process with the ancient beings that might lead to humanity's end? Both options would have significant consequences. After coming face to face with ancient beings in another dimension, Dr. Elias Kordan was caught in a mental storm. He had seen their world and heard their desires and losses. This knowledge profoundly affected his thinking. The beings did not want to harm humanity, but they needed some of our world's resources to sustain their existence. When Kordan returned to the laboratory, he faced another reality. The other scientists at Synapse Station were concerned about the outcomes of his experiments. The powerful flow of knowledge and the mysterious connection established with these beings posed significant potential dangers. Humanity could be invaded by these beings, and the world order could be turned upside down. Kordan understood his colleagues' concerns, but his passion for pushing the boundaries of science was also burning fiercely. This contact with ancient beings could revolutionize the scientific world and fundamentally change humanity's understanding of the cosmos. However, using this knowledge unchecked could endanger all humanity. Torn between these dilemmas, Kordan had to make a decision. In a meeting with his colleagues, he shared his experiences and the knowledge he had gained. He explained the desires of the ancient beings and the potential threats. During the meeting, heated debates erupted among the scientists. Some wanted to explore ways to use this new knowledge for the benefit of humanity. Others argued that taking such significant risks was not the right course of action. Finally, Kordan found a path within himself. Before announcing his decision, he took a deep breath and began his speech. This contact with ancient beings has opened the doors to an unknown world for us. Yes, this knowledge could be dangerous, but it also offers great opportunities for humanity's future. We must use these opportunities wisely and responsibly. Therefore, I propose developing a cooperation protocol with the ancient beings. This protocol will be arranged to protect the interests of both sides. Silence fell in the meeting room. Kordan's proposal surprised many scientists, but there were also supporters. Eventually, work began on this cooperation protocol. The protocol was designed to meet the needs of the ancient beings while also protecting life on Earth with strict security measures. By making this decision, Dr. Kordan chose to walk the fine line between science and moral responsibility. This decision might set humanity on a new trajectory. However, the future was still uncertain, and the results of this cooperation could affect the entire world. Under the leadership of Dr. Elias Kordan, the cooperation protocol initiated a great excitement among the scientific communities worldwide. This collaboration with ancient beings was thought to bring revolutionary innovations in technology and science. However, this collaboration also brought significant responsibilities. How would humanity accept this new order? And more importantly, what were the true intentions of the ancient beings? With the implementation of the protocol, special laboratories around the world began developing technologies to control the energy and information flow of ancient beings. These laboratories also served as communication bridges between humanity and the ancient beings. Kordan and his team worked during this process to help the ancient beings adapt to our world and minimize potentially dangerous effects. Meanwhile, among the global population, there were those who opposed the new order. Some groups feared that this collaboration could lead to the end of humanity, resisting the influence of ancient beings on our world. These groups pressured governments and scientific communities to campaign for the cancellation of the cooperation protocol. Dr. Kordan was aware of these reactions and understood the concerns of the people. However, he and his team believed that the benefits the ancient beings could bring to our world were much greater than the potential dangers. With this thought, Kordan organized a series of public presentations and conferences to inform the community and gain people's support. As part of these efforts, Dr. Kordan and his team highlighted the contributions of ancient beings to technology and science with concrete examples. Increases in energy production efficiency, advancements in disease treatment, and innovations in environmental protection techniques demonstrated how the knowledge of ancient beings could be utilized. At a pivotal conference during the social acceptance process, Kordan and his team announced the first tangible results of collaboration with ancient beings. These successful results slowly began to change public perception. As people began to see the benefits this new order could bring, their initial fears and suspicions gave way to hope and curiosity. However, this new beginning meant sailing into unknown waters. Dr. Kordan and his team could not fully predict where this deep connection with ancient beings would lead. The changes brought by this new order were opening a new page in human history, and it was yet to be written what would be on the end of this page. While the cooperation protocol was successfully implemented, Dr. Elias Kordan and his team began encountering unexpected consequences arising from the presence of ancient beings on Earth. With the new technologies and information flow, energy fields and natural balances around the world began to change. These changes led to ecological imbalances and abnormal climate events in some areas. Kordan formed a crisis management team to assess these new threats. The team began investigating the imbalances caused by the collaboration with ancient beings. Initial findings showed that the energy use of ancient beings affected Earth's magnetic and energy fields. These effects needed to be controlled, or serious ecological and atmospheric dangers could arise for the world. In light of these findings, Dr. Kordan and his team started work to reorganize the energy sharing with ancient beings. A new series of regulatory protocols was developed. These protocols aimed to limit the energy use of ancient beings and balance their effects on Earth. This work required intense collaboration between scientists and ancient beings. However, these regulations caused discontent among some ancient beings. They saw these limitations as interference with their rights to exist. This situation led to tensions between humans and ancient beings. Some ancient beings refused to comply with the regulations and began to control their energy sources independently. These developments confronted Dr. Kordan's team with a difficult decision. They needed to implement more security measures to manage these new threats. The team established a new surveillance and intervention network to monitor and control energy fields worldwide. This network aimed to detect potential threats at an early stage and intervene if necessary. During this process, Dr. Kordan continued to communicate diplomatically with ancient beings to ensure they could continue their contributions to our world. He hoped to find a fair and sustainable solution for both humanity and ancient beings by combining science and diplomacy during this challenging period. However, some groups worldwide demanded more radical measures to stop the uncontrolled energy use of ancient beings. These groups began to build public pressure to end the collaboration between humanity and ancient beings. Dr. Kordan and his team struggled to counter these pressures while also maintaining ecological balances worldwide. As the crisis deepened, Dr. Elias Kordan and his team continued to work tirelessly to find solutions to the ecological imbalances and energy manipulations by ancient beings worldwide. Humanity had to learn how to cope with these new threats while also finding ways to continue the collaboration with ancient beings. While Kordan conducted diplomatic negotiations with ancient beings, he also intensified his efforts to develop new technologies and solutions in collaboration with scientists worldwide. During this process, focus was placed on creating more efficient energy systems for ancient beings that would also preserve Earth's natural balance. A turning point was the introduction of redesigned energy transfer systems. These systems were developed to meet the energy needs of ancient beings without harming Earth's magnetic and energy fields. Additionally, these energy transfer systems were supported by monitoring stations spread across various points on Earth, allowing any abnormalities to be quickly detected and addressed. On the other hand, information campaigns and education programs conducted with communities worldwide emphasized the importance of these new technologies and collaboration. Efforts to gain public support and adapt everyone to this new situation slowly began to bear fruit. People started to understand the changes brought by ancient beings to our world and adapt to these changes. With these developments, Dr. Kordan and his team saw that the collaboration with ancient beings was not only a technological integration, but also a cultural and social adaptation process. Individuals from both sides worked to better understand each other's cultures and lifestyles. This process increased understanding and respect between both sides. Thanks to these re-established balances, ecological and climatic abnormalities worldwide began to decrease. Humanity and ancient beings took an important step toward building a common future. This success showed that challenges could be overcome by combining science and diplomacy under Dr. Kordan's leadership. Under the leadership of Dr. Elias Kordan, the collaboration between humanity and ancient beings had initiated a new era worldwide. However, this new order also brought unexpected challenges. The deepening relationship between two different beings led to some problems and conflicts. On one hand, the technology and knowledge brought by ancient beings had revolutionized many areas worldwide. Advances in energy production, medicine, science, and technology significantly improved the quality of life for humanity. However, on the other hand, this rapid change caused major upheavals in social structures and economic balances. As communities around the world tried to adapt to the presence and technologies of ancient beings, some regional and cultural groups resisted these changes. These groups, fearing the loss of their traditional lifestyles, approached the innovations brought by ancient beings with skepticism. To overcome these resistances and find solutions that would serve the interests of both sides, Dr. Kordan decided to organize an international forum. The forum aimed to bring together leaders, scientists, social scientists, and ancient beings from around the world to create a common roadmap. The purpose of this meeting was to discuss current issues and determine ways of reconciliation acceptable to both sides. During the forum, ancient beings and human representatives deeply discussed the impacts of technology on humanity, cultural integration processes, and issues of economic justice. The environmental impacts of the energy systems brought by ancient beings and the sustainable management of these technologies were also discussed. As a result of these discussions, a series of new protocols and policies were created that satisfied both sides. These policies emphasized technological integration as well as principles of cultural respect and economic equality. Additionally, new regulations and monitoring systems were developed to maintain the environmental balance worldwide. Through this challenging process, Dr. Kordan's leadership and vision created a deep spirit of trust and cooperation between humans and ancient beings. However, the future remained filled with uncertainties. How this new order would yield results in the long term and shape the future of life on Earth would be revealed over time. Following the International Forum led by Dr. Elias Kordan, a period of harmony and collaboration began worldwide. Both humans and ancient beings learned to live together within a framework of mutual understanding and respect. The reshaped world was enriched by the blending of technology and cultures, and humanity gained a new understanding of civilization. Over time, the knowledge and technologies of ancient beings spread across the globe. Energy solutions, environmental balance maintenance, and advancements in health improved living standards worldwide. Innovative technologies and sustainable practices allowed the world ecosystem to find renewal opportunities, and our planet became more vibrant and balanced than ever before. During this period of successful collaboration with ancient beings, Dr. Kordan defined a new vision for humanity. This vision encompassed not only technological advancements, but also social justice and cultural richness. The world had become a place where differences coexisted in harmony, everyone learned from each other, and grew together. However, like every new beginning, this process also brought its own challenges. As the world tried to adapt to the changes brought by this new era, some areas still experienced resistance and conflicts. But this time, Dr. Kordan and world leaders were better prepared to solve these problems. They had managed to create a society capable of overcoming these challenges through dialogue and understanding. Years later, as Dr. Kordan faced the last days of his life, he looked back on the legacy he had left with pride. He and his team had created new hope and a future for the world. Now, people and ancient beings, aware of their responsibilities to each other, continued to live together and support each other. The world had once again transformed and evolved. This time, it was a wiser and more just civilization. Dr. Kordan's vision would guide humanity and ancient beings for many years, and future generations would preserve and advance this legacy. Following Dr. Elias Kordan's leadership at the International Forum, a period of harmony and collaboration began around the world. Both humans and ancient beings learned to coexist within a framework of mutual understanding and respect. The reshaped world was enriched by the integration of technology and cultures, providing humanity with a new understanding of civilization. Over time, the knowledge and technologies of the ancient beings spread worldwide. Solutions for energy, environmental balance, and health advancements significantly improve life standards everywhere. Innovative technologies and sustainable practices allowed the Earth's ecosystem to regenerate, making our planet more vibrant and balanced than ever before. During this successful period of cooperation with the ancient beings, Dr. Kordan set forth a new vision for humanity. This vision encompassed not just technological advancements, but also social justice and cultural richness. The world had become a place where differences coexisted harmoniously. Everyone learned from one another, and together they flourished. However, like any new beginning, this process also brought its challenges. As the world adjusted to the changes of this new era, some regions still experienced resistance and conflicts. But this time, Dr. Kordan and global leaders were better prepared to address these issues. They had succeeded in creating a society capable of overcoming these challenges through dialogue and understanding. Years later, as Dr. Kordan faced the final days of his life, he looked back on his legacy with pride. He and his team had created new hope and a future for the world. Now, people and ancient beings, aware of their responsibilities towards each other, continued to live together and support each other. The world had transformed and evolved once again. This time, it was a wiser and more just civilization. Dr. Kordan's vision would guide humanity and the ancient beings for many years to come, and future generations would preserve and further this legacy.